Welcome to our judge, John Thirlwell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared for a fantastic spectacle of breeding excellence and a chance to showcase your appreciation.
And here's our judge for the breeders' competition, John Thirlwell. He's been involved in dogs since he was a schoolboy, very successful with his Welsh Springer Spaniels and Irish Setters and Vizsla, so an all-rounder, a very accomplished judge. And here is the first, Rachel Bailey and her team of Canadian Eskimo dogs.
And our second group of Canadian Eskimo dogs, these from the Kimukta stables, and Sarah Atkins.
And here are the Great Danes, the Adoradane Great Danes. That's Sarah Tempest with them.
Oh, the Newfoundlands, a wonderful sight. The Titan Bears Kennel, Drew and Anna Duff out there handling as well.
And here's another team of Siberian Huskies, Roxanne Sims, the Arctic Skies Kennel.
And the bearded collies, Beer Beardies. Lynn Bevis, the trainer. These on the vulnerable breed list, so it's great to see them represented here in the Breeders' Competition final.
And here are the Foster Briards, a French breed, a very successful kennel, showing fawns and blacks in their team here, the two colours of the breed.
And from the Elbereth Kennel, the Finnish Lappens, these are all litter mates. Tony Jackson.
And here comes the Lancashire lads, the Lancashire Heelers, the great characters of a breed. This kennel, the Faubourg Kennel of Debbie Felstead. Look at that, what character.
The Skajak Kennel here with the Polish Lowland Sheepdogs, Leslie Naylor. Loving those outfits, have to say they won't have a bearing on the judge, but full marks for sparkliness in the arena.
And the dogs all look very similar, which will have an effect on the judge, yes. And here's another lovely breed, the Swedish Valhuns. Lovely, lovely breed, the Ice Wine of Sophie Linney. Scandinavian breed.
In come the Welsh Corgis from Monaco. Kim Warner, the breeder there.
Very even group. Oh, just look at this. The Glenivre Mal Terriers, a rare breed, the Boudivella Kennel of Amy Hannington. Wheaten in colour, distinctive rising top line, that's typical of the breed.
And here come the Norfolk Terriers of the Watercroft Kennel, Ruth Gee.
Fresh from the success in the Junior Warrant final as well. What a good day they're having. All matching dogs and matching handlers. And our next group in is the soft-coated Wheaton Terriers, very successful kennel, the Silcroft Kennel. Christopher and Cheryl Southerly had a lot of good winners in the past.
So here come the Basenjis from the Mawali stables, and Sarah Dunson.
What a smart breed they are, so elegant, this long swinging stride, these all red and white. And now here's a rare breed from France, the Basset Bleu de Gascogne, Celeste Bleu, de Christopher Middleton, yes. Very distinctive top lines and underline blue mottled coats.
Been breeding the Basset Bleus for 3 years. Here is the Bloodhounds from the Farlap Kennel, and Sam Clark, the breeder.
Yeah, very successful, and to get a team like this all showing well, Sam has worked very hard for the breed.
Another breed on the vulnerable breed list, of course, the Bloodhound.
And here's the lovely elegance of the Scottish Deerhounds. Look at the sashes on some of the handlers, very patriotic. but it's the dogs we look at. Light, lifting, lovely curving lines.
Named after the village in Scotland that they're from. Here come the Harriers, the Hennessy stables, and Charlotte Farrar. One of these was best of breed in 2025.
And here's the Gentle Giants, the Irish Wolfhounds from White Orchard Kennel. Wendy Heather leading them.
I met these earlier in the day, Frank. Moving in now, the Whippets from the Eden Whip Kennels. James Winkley Barmer.
Again, James, a young exhibitor and breeder, had great success. And he's the Yankee Doodle Dundee. He's the Boston Terrier. These smart Boston markings, white blazers, white collars and white legs on leg markings. They're really smart. That was the Vic Valley Boston Terriers.
This is from the Balgay Kennel, the Tibetan Spaniels, and Aileen MacDonald is the breeder at Balgay.
A beautiful breed, long-lived, great characters, hailing from Tibet originally.
The Mexican hairless dog, the Jolo Itzcuintli, coming into the arena. Sangre Real Kennel with Hannah Wright.
One of the sacred hairless breeds. Oh, wonderful. The English Toy Terriers, the Etology Kennel of Zoe Phillips. Wonderful sort of miniature terriers in miniature. This far-reaching, extended trot in front. Lovely.
And we've got two teams of English Toy Terriers here. This from the La Sagesse Kennel, Graham and Lisa
based
Dixon.
in the north, in County Durham. Graham and Lisa Dixon. And here's a very successful team from the Lyriva Pomeranian Kennel. I believe they won this competition last year, so again, always a strong team.
Yeah, they've certainly had success in the past at Crufts. And the next group in here, the Hungarian Vizslas, a wonderful sight from the Overshaza Kennel.
And here come the wonderful Chesapeake Bay Retrievers. Rugged, hard-working dogs, very hardy. And there comes the flat-coated Retrievers from Roanoke Kennel.
And here come the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retrievers, Tina and Sue Westwood, the breeders at the Usenet Kennel.
And now the Welsh Springers, led by the young Catherine Chandler. That's her mother and grandmother in the team, so 3 generations, all coming from North Yorkshire, near Northallerton.
It's wonderful to see, isn't it? And of course we see the outfits, and it always gets talked about, and we always get asked about the outfits, but they do not have any bearing on the judging. But just how did that come about as a thing?
From Scandinavia, really. Scandinavia and America, where they're very smartly dressed, and it gives a nice impression of the team, but it's the dogs which count, not the handlers or their outfits. It's not a fashion show, yes.
The qualifications have been going on throughout the year. That's how teams get to this final, so they've all done very well, coming through numerous qualifications.
It's a real accolade to get this far, and of course a breeder's dream to win this competition. It's a mark of their clever breeding, that they're producing evenness of type and quality throughout their lines.
And of course you'll see one team of dogs with different colours as well, and that is okay, because it's not about a matching series of dogs, but it's about their type, as you said, their evenness.
Very nice finished Lapons there. So John, very accomplished breeder. He's bred many champions in Welsh Springer Spaniels and other gun dog breeds.
Well, he's ready to reveal his shortlist to us.
A lovely shot of the Bostons there, lovely.
And the shortlist is coming out, so the Siberian Huskies, Frank, are the first to be called out in this shortlist. That's the Arctic Skies Kennel.
And next out, it is the team of Lapons. Tony Jackson and her Lapons. very successful in the breed.
Yep, the Elbereth Kennel and Tony Jackson. And now
Here comes the Norfolk Terriers, that Watercroft Kennel, already successful this evening in the junior warrant.
So from the Silk-Croft Kennel, out come the soft-coated Wheaton Terriers on the vulnerable breed list. So fantastic for them to be shortlisted here.
Here are those smart red and white Basenjis. They came in looking very well. The Mawali Kennel.
And the Farlap Kennel is called out with their Bloodhounds. Another breed that's on the vulnerable breed list. So congratulations to Sam Clark, the breeder, for making this shortlist. That's 6, Frank.
And here come the Balgay Tibetan Spaniels. Lovely, lovely set, very even, full of character.
And the final to make this shortlist, then the English Toy Terriers from the Lassages Kennel. So congratulations to Graham and Lisa Dixon. Will that be it? That's 8 teams shortlisted.
And I think that looks as though it's going to be the last. Yes, they're going out. So there's our shortlist for the Breeders' Competition. 8 groups.
Well, last year it was the Bearded Collies from Iris Edition. So we will have a different breed this year to win this Breeders' Competition final with the 8 teams that are shortlisted so far. So, Frank, we will now see these dogs move, and this gives the judge a better opportunity to have a closer look.
Well, here is the team of the Siberian Huskies. Now he's going to look at them moving, so he's going to see that all of them are moving soundly and correctly. That's very important. It's not just about breed type, it's about soundness and health. And here he's trotting them out, looking at their movement, driving from their hocks, and he'll turn them round and look at the forward reach as they come forward. Lovely coats and that very typical tail in all of them.
And these 4 are Gizmo, Nando, Diva and Shiva. And Roxanne Sims has been breeding pedigree dogs for some 22 years and reckons that these are all up to they're at their best when they're getting up to mischief. Well, they're being pretty well behaved out on the green carpet at the moment.
And here's the Embereth Finnish Lapphunds striding out. Spitz characteristics on this breed, this wedge-shaped head, this sharply pricked ears, the protective coat, the mane of hair and the tail curved over the back. They're brisk in their action.
And 3 of this team actually attended the World Dog Show in Helsinki in 2025 and were placed 2nd in the breeder competition there, behind Finland's top breeder. So they've got some form, this group. So the Finnish Lapphunds making this shortlist here.
And here are the Watercrofts going with Ruth G, all compact and cobby, which is the essential character of the breed. They're low to ground, lots of substance and lots of character. Ruth's been very successful. She keeps a large kennel of dogs. She's been a very good breeder over the past decade at least.
Yeah, competing at Crufts for some 20 years, and she's been breeding pedigree dogs for 35 years. And so here the team is made up of Tiger, Frank, Boozy and Monkey. You don't have to compete with exactly the same dog, do you, that took part in qualifying, as long as it is obviously the same breed?
They get the ones which are best in their best coat at the time. It depends on the coat and the season. So here they are. And a beautiful group of soft-coated Wheaton Terriers. The Silk-Croft Kennel of the Southerleys, very successful. This is a lovely breed, one of the native breeds of Ireland. Lovely silk, loose curls in their coat, the long, strong head, wonderful character. The judge just trotting them out backwards and forwards to see their soundness of action.
We're given a little bit of insight into the dogs' personalities here. One of these, Taylor, a big soft teddy bear. Gloria, the happiest girl you'd ever meet. She's the one who apparently her tail won't stop wagging, so I'm now having a closer look to try and identify her.
And of course, all of these dogs will be really family pets most of the time. They just come together at the shows to make a team, all living happily. There's lovely smartness in these red and white Basenjis, these long-legged gazelle-type hounds with short backs, long legs, and this long swinging stride. This Mawali kennel that produce a lot of champions. What a smart team this is.
In fact, this is the same team who were shortlisted in this competition last year. They're all full siblings from 2 litters from parents from the USA and Australia. So we've got 3 champions, and between the 4, they've been awarded 36 championship certificates and titles in Europe and group placings in Europe and the UK. So they are going for another coveted title here today.
And doesn't that show consistency in the breeding here again? Now a very impressive group of the Far Lap Bloodhounds. Sam Clark has done wonders for the breed, getting them all health tested, getting soundness of temperament and this loose, shambling stride, which is typical of the breed. This clean, fairly narrow head, the delicate curve of the ears inwardly, and the tail, the stern held aloft. That's a lovely group of bloodhounds.
And it's a really significant and proud moment here for Sam Clark, the breeder at Far Lap, because they are the first bloodhounds to appear in this competition. She says, you know, they decided to just give it a go in 2025 because it looked like a fun thing to do. And here they are, shortlisted.
And now the Tibetan Spaniels, Balgay Kennel, which has had a lot of winners. And what evenness here. They are beautiful Tibetan breed. They used to stay with the monks in the monasteries. They were guardian dogs. They've got this lovely quality, this cushioned face, slightly domed skull, and these light lifting ears, and that tail carried over the back. How smart they are, and they're great characters.
Well, they're a very young team, this one, and we're actually told that they are very vocal, or gobby, as Aileen McDonald, I think, describes them. So if they don't like something, they will let you know. Well, they've been pretty calm out there at the moment, so I think they're enjoying their time in the spotlight. And in fact, only one of these handlers owns a Tibetan Spaniel.
And the elegance of the English Toy Terriers, the La Sagesse Kennel of Mr. and Mrs. Dixon from County Durham, that lovely extended trotting action. This is a miniature Manchester Terrier, apart from the ears, which are candle flame, the markings on the legs, the thumbprints, which are a common trait in this breed and the Manchester Terrier. Again, bred down from a sporting terrier into a toy breed.
And this kennel really is dedicated to keeping this breed going, because it is on the vulnerable breed list, which means less than 300 puppies registered every year. So to have them under the spotlight here is a wonderful thing in the breeders' competition here at Crufts.
So that completes our John looking at the 8 teams on the move and standing still. Type and movement, healthy construction, all well put together, and evenness in type. Who's going to come out best here?
Well, he will take his time. Well, who's going to win this coveted title? All the Siberian Huskies.
Well, that's a wonderful win for them.
Wonderful victory. The Arctic Skies Kennel Siberian Huskies. Congratulations to Roxanne Sims, winning the Breeders' Competition 2026.
The Siberian Huskies had the biggest entry in the working group today, so great win. Second, the Silkcroft soft-coated Wheatons, another lovely group, looked good, both standing and moving.
And the Bloodhounds in 3rd place. That is wonderful to see.
And it's the Watercroft Norfolk Terriers coming out in 4th, so she's having a really good day, isn't she? Watercroft with Ruth G.
Well, a tremendous win though for the Siberian Huskies, the fastest of all the Huskies, and they have raced the top spot here in the Breeders' Competition. Roxanne Sims and Arctic Skies win here at Crufts in 2026.
Huge congratulations. That's the Arctic Skies Siberian Huskies, the Silkcroft soft-coated Wheaton Terriers, the Farah Bloodhounds, and the Watercrofts Norfolk Terriers.
There is somebody who's very pleased with himself or herself. This is really an outstanding sight in the arena always, and just to see such quality of dogs in these teams. Credit to all the breeders who have made it to this final, and being shortlisted and then being placed here at Crufts is a real highlight for any kennel. And that tremendous accolade, of course, now goes to Arctic Skies. Gizmo, Nando, Thiva and Shiva.